What's up, YouTube? Energy itself is aware of itself. If you think not, then just look at the body itself. The body is pure vibration. The body is pure energy. And whether you identify with the body or not, whether you call that the self or not, you would say we as bodies or people, persons, whatever you want to call these bodies, you would say that we are aware of ourselves, right? Some of us, or for the most part, you would say that it is possible for us to be aware of ourselves. So what is the difference between any energy ever in that sense and its awareness of itself, being self-realized? All energy is self-realized. And when it comes to phasing and going to different levels of energy and going to different frequencies or what have you, different wavelengths, it's just about being able to perceive a broader spectrum. It's like no different from the bird, the hummingbird, or the bee that flaps its wings, vibrates its wings at such a rapid rate that we supposedly can't see it. No, it's just our perception isn't that broad. When the vibration slows, then we can perceive it as such. But we are perceiving it. It's just that we don't. Our perception is skewed. We don't. It's just like when you are looking from a human vehicle, saying that there are no other life forms in life because your expectations are human. You expect to see from a human spectrum, a human light spectrum. You're not looking at it from a universal light spectrum or a broader light spectrum. It's just like in the movie I Origins. If anybody has saw that movie, which I basically wrote that movie. If you watch I Origins, in the one scene, she says, like, worms only have two senses, and one is smell and one is touch, I believe. And she said if you get that light is there, all vibration is light. But she was saying the light is there. They have no notion of light, worms, but it's all around them. They're just not perceiving it in that bandwidth. They're not perceiving it in that their perception is not that wide. It's not that broad. So they're only getting these supposed two senses, or they're only experiencing light on a certain bandwidth, because that is all that energy body is picking up. But there's light all around it. The reason she said that, it was saying because when it comes to God, like, how can you perceive God? How could God be all around us and we not know? But she was saying that it's no different than the worm that can't see or perceive light in the way we do. But it's all around it, if you can follow me that far. So when we're looking at subatomic matter, which everything is pretty much the building block of life itself, when we look at the particles of anything and their vibratory and their motion, first of all, we really can't pinpoint the location of an electron or proton in an atom, but they've tried and failed. But really, all I'm trying to say, I don't really get too deep into quantum physics and things like that, but as far as observing, being an observer and observing subatomic phenomena, since we are energy and the subatomic phenomena is energy itself and it responds to energy, since we are observing it, we are influencing it. So that tells us right there that we are co-creators. Because if the subatomic particles that we are observing behave in a manner based on how we observe them, it lets us know that we are basically looking at ourselves, manipulating ourselves. Because if what we are emitting is influencing this thing, where is the separation? Again, when it comes to thoughts and intention and all these things, and the electromagnetic field that the heart itself gives off, and the body itself in general, just the electricity it's giving off, what it's communicating with everything it's touching, because everything is touching everything. So where's the separation? Where does life end or begin? So we got to go past Newton's apple. We got to go past the Newtonian idea of physics, because we just got to go past that. It held its place in space, and now we're going to quantum and past quantum to meta, or beyond physics. And it's not beyond physics. I mean, with everything, it's all the physical representation of what's happening. Like the circulatory system. People be like, it's complex. Or the heart is complex. It's the physical end result of what's going on at a less dense level. Everything is in an amazing arrangement and a broader light spectrum than when we can perceive. So the circulatory system that we see at a physical level is happening around us in a more subtle way. This is just the physical representation. Again, the body is just basically spirit moving at a slower rate. Denser matter is just spirit. We could call it spirit, whatever we want to call it. Energy moving at a slower rate. That's what we call the body, or a denser amount of energy. So really what I'm getting at here is that everything is giving off this. Everything is in communication like this. And everything has its subtle connection. And that's the thing with essential oils and smudging and different things like that. Anything that is in its pure state or pure vibratory state, if it hits our chemistry, it can help us get to that state. That's why things like sage and eucalyptus or anything, especially with smells, that they can uplift us and bring up our vibration. And again, they are like gold knows it's gold. That's why it's gold. Everything, all energy is aware of itself, and all beings and everything in its cosmic code, in its progression and its procession, it will bring up other energies, which is other aspects or facets of self. It's hard to explain in that sense because we're all just facets of self exploring each other. And the closer we are with certain aspects of self, physically and all other ways, just lets us know which part of ourself we're closest to and in touch with. So everything is in constant communication with itself, because we are self, just constantly in communication and constantly learning and teaching. So, it's just the same thing when you got family members and you're trying to bring them up to different levels of energy. It's no different from these supposed beings or energies that get up inside us or go out of us and all these different around us. However you want to look at it, trying to raise our vibration or lower it, however you want to look at it. These things are constantly happening because it's just energy cultivation. It's not a good or bad thing, an evil paradigm thing. You got to break that. You got to get past that. You got to look at your emotions as more so in a concrete way, and as useful energy. And you got to look at life like that. I mean, because we've become so good at being ignorant. That's really what it comes down to. We've become so good at being ignorant that as the years go on, if you survive long enough, you're going to get in touch with yourself, regardless of how rapidly you destroy yourself. The more rapid you destroy yourself lets me know that you're good at manifestation. Because the better you're getting at ignoring yourself lets me know that you're an acknowledgement of yourself. Because you have to acknowledge something to ignore it. I know that sounds crazy, but you have to at least acknowledge it to turn the cheek in the first place, to even ignore it. There's a difference between ignoring something. I feel like everybody knows everything or has a capacity to know everything that comes down their path. So it's all about ignorance. We've become good at being ignorant. So the more we ignore ourselves and the body on all levels, self on all levels, the heart, whatever you're ignoring, just the more we rape ourselves. We're getting good at pimping the body out because we know how to heal it. We know how to destroy it and all these things as we survive, the longer we live. So we just getting better at killing ourselves. We're just so good at it now. We're just amazing. We're profound at killing ourselves. And it's such a resilient creature, the human body, should let you know that what we could do on the other side of the same coin as far as building. So I'm going to leave it to that. It's 10 minutes already.